Hey, 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 hey. Oh, hey, hold on. Hey,
A long time no see.
hey. There it is. There it is. Hey. Did I say hey, everybody? This is Dan coming to you alive from Japan once again. I am back at the AMA, so don't delay. Send in your questions today, like you did in the month of May. So I will go in some dismay and let Alex to. Hey, Alex.
Hey, how's it going? Long time no see.
Yeah. It's been a bit of a travel-y type of situation for me. Yeah, so did quite a bit, put quite a bit of miles on the old.
All right, so where are you
Else.
now?
Well, I'm back home finally.
All right.
And yeah, so well, I mean, of course, I got maybe like a little bit over a month left at home, and then back out on the road we go. But yeah, it's nice to be home finally. I can finish putting together furniture that I didn't get a chance to put together before I left, and do some more cleaning because there's boxes behind me over there that I still have to go through. Anyway, it's great to be home. I can do home things. It's better to be home than being in hotels, no matter how nice those hotels are, and usually they're not that nice. But anyway. But a lot of really good stuff, a lot of really good work. And yeah, actually, for those watching, Alex and I had we met in person in Dubai, and had a chance to really catch up on some really cool things that we are going to be doing together. Going to be bringing some more traffic to Ergo in fun new ways. So that was very good. How was that for you, Alex, to be at that party that everybody got denied for, but in the end nobody showed up to?
Oh, you mean that event organized by one centralized exchange?
Yeah. So just to give everybody context.
Yeah, okay. Actually, it was quite good, relaxing, but yeah, I mean, empty and. Yeah, well, I was invited to other parties. So on Saturday it was yacht organized by another centralized exchange, but probably it was even worse. So I didn't attend even.
Yeah, no, I had, it's kind of funny, the yacht party thing in Dubai, because it seems really, really swanky, but it's actually the funny thing is that that's actually a way to save money if you want to have a party, because a yacht, something that's something that's decent size, it will hold maybe 30 to 40 people. You can rent as low as three, maybe $4,000, right? So think about this. This is Dubai. It's expensive, right? If you want to have a nice venue, that's going to cost you. It's going to cost you quite a bit ahead. Well, so here, these yachts, you can get them for maybe $3,000-$4,000 for a few hours. They'll take you on this really nice cruise down down the canal by the bay, and they have all the food, right? So you get food, drinks, everything included. So you basically actually are saving money. So if you got maybe like, whatever, 40 people on that yacht, and you paid $4,000, well, that's $100 a head, right? So, and you can get to pick and choose and invite who you want to invite, and invite all the right people and everything. And it's not going to cost you. I mean, you know exactly what it's going to cost you, because in the end, some of these parties in Dubai, some of them, you're going to end up with a $40,000-$50,000 check before you know it. So this is actually a common practice in Dubai, to make sure you have a nice venue, but you know exactly what you're going to spend. Like, you're going to spend, okay, I'm going to spend $4,000. Okay, that's what I'm going to spend. And I can invite an X amount of people, so you can really figure it out. So it's actually really nice. But yeah, this time I didn't get a chance to go to any yacht parties. Unfortunately, I was in Dubai just for the summit, and that's it. Had to go back home because I was already out on the road for about a week. But how long did you stay in Dubai? When did you come back home, Alex?
On Sunday, so a few days more, like 2 or 3 days more than you.
Okay. Well, you probably.
You've managed to do Argentina, right? Again before Japan.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, absolutely
Yeah,
crazy.
so actually I went Japan, Argentina via Dubai. So I changed planes in Dubai. So I went Japan, Dubai, Argentina, then back Argentina, Dubai, stayed in Dubai for a couple of days, back to Japan. And believe it or not, that was actually the faster route because last time it took me something like 36 hours to get to Argentina from Japan. This time it only took me like 26 hours or
Oh.
24 hours. Yeah, this is all flying, by the way. This is not with connections. With connections, it's even longer, but this is literally in the air. I am in the air for this whole time.
All right. So
Yeah.
yeah, not very pleasant trip.
No, 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 no. And plus, Emirates is really nice to not have premium economy on the longer flights. So basically, longer flights either pay crazy amounts for business class, which I'm not going to, or you have to fly, economy for 14 hours. And yeah, I get extended legroom, but I think some of you saw what extended legroom looks like. It's basically, you extend your legs and somebody's going to step on it because they're in the line to the bathroom or to get a snack. So it's an experience. But yeah, did go to Argentina, had quite a few really interesting conversations. And so there is actually something that I'm developing. This is besides Palmyra, the main Palmyra platform, that will put traffic on Ergo, and there's no reason I can't specifically use Ergo for it because in the end, it's pretty much chain agnostic. It's all about the utility. So I can use whatever I want, and I'm going to use Ergo for that for the core technology, and I'm really excited about that. Plus, Alex and I spoke about potentially doing a lithium pegged, lithium backed stable coin, potentially that is going to be using Gluon or even JED, the JED protocol.
Yeah, so, the Dexia. So yeah, the Dexia Jet.
Yeah, the Dexia Gold. Yeah, Dexia Gold, or is it going to be, I guess, Dexia Lithium? We use Dexia.
Yeah, a lot of options actually on Ergo, especially, right? So a lot of stablecoin options.
Yeah. So quite a bit of tech that I am going to get a chance to use, yeah, I'm just really excited about that.
All right. And so, how will it work? So, can you explain to people?
Yeah. So basically, and so this is, I'm going to have more information on this later, obviously, of exactly where it's going to launch and how we're going to launch it. But essentially, think about it this way. It's a lithium price pegged stable coin that is pegged to lithium prices coming out of South America, which is a big lithium producer. I have a connection to actually get pricing data from official oracles that supply data to the S&P 500. So these are legitimate sources that we're going to be supplying the data. And so the stable coin would be used to then to fund businesses that are producing lithium, and so the lithium itself would then be used. So that we would have a companion stable coin that's lithium backed, that would then be swapped one for one for the lithium pegged stable coin. So essentially, they pay back the lithium pegged stable coin and lithium backed stable coin. And so essentially they will be used for clearing, which is it's a very interesting concept. It's actually quite needed over there for the various different businesses that are looking to spin up and widen up lithium mining operations, and as well as other operations you can use that for. There's quite a bit of gold and copper mining in those in that region, specifically in Argentina. There is also carbon mining as well. So and the same concept can be used for all the various different mining industries. And so yeah, again, it's very exciting to have this. And so Alex, Alex threw some ideas out while we were in Dubai, and I think once things materialize a little more, this is going to be a very interesting endeavor to take.
Yeah, and so as I said a couple of times, our Twitter and also the Ergo Telegram group. So yeah, it's well, one interesting piece of the puzzle, right? So what's now quite clear to me, and well, I'm also proposing to organize a community call in regards with. Well, on this understanding how well marketing is working in Ergo community, right, and coordinating it, and maybe, yeah, inviting developers to provide well information to marketing groups. We have a few of them, such as Sigmanauts, Ergo Ergo Foundation, and Ergo Devs DAO is also doing something. And then, to coordinate also, on vision. And so, to me personally, it's, now kind of multi-level story, right? So, first you have some, cross-chain liquidity flows, and they are actually, now quite exciting. Right, especially we are talking about Ergo going to outside, right? So to Cardano, especially, and then now also to Ethereum blockchains to be used in DeFi. There, right? To use those blockchains and decentralized exchanges of them as on-ramp options. In addition to cross-chain, so you have DeFi on Ergo, right? And it is absorbing good, hopefully, assets from other blockchains, right? Well, then there is the best collateral, right? For Ergo DeFi, it's the Ergo proof of work, kind of digital gold asset. Right, then there are different assets in the Ergo ecosystem, right? And then there are tokenized real-world assets, right? And then, with DeFi, it's already quite an interesting game. But I think the next step is to use, all those assets to produce different trustless derivatives, such as stable coins, right? To be used in the real world. For payments and so on, because most of blockchain assets are not that good, maybe because of high volatility, right? Or if we are talking about assets of good quality, people are usually hoarding them, not spending. If we are talking about proof of work cryptocurrencies such as Ergo and Bitcoin, and then. Then we have different tools also to produce new forms of money based on trust or collateral, such as chain cash. I'm also going to write, I hope to find time to write a forum post on how to do, for example, circles UBI on top of Ergo. So, another monetary scheme, but yeah, trust-based. So then you have a variety of options, right? What to produce on top of blockchain assets to be used in the real world. So that's multi-layered puzzle. But yeah, I mean, it's quite clear, I think, now to everyone how it would work.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Do we have an Ergo hack or something? We're hacking Ergo. Isn't that happening?
Yeah, for ninth time, we are hacking Ergo in the round. So yeah, it's happening. There was an overview of projects published recently. So there are 9 quite interesting projects. I don't know, probably we don't have time, right, to cover that, and probably that's up to QX, right, and his dev update. But yeah, well, it's going, and going quite well, I think. But yeah, well, this time I missed it, unfortunately, due to traveling, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, my days in Dubai were busy, so 2 conferences and some side events, like that's half empty party where it was hard to get into, but it was half empty after all. Maybe even like completely half right most of time. A lot of personal meetings, discussions, and so on. And I think now it's a very good time for Ergo, actually, right? Not so good for many, it seems, VCs invested in DeFi summer and so on, right? But when I first attended some event in Dubai, it was 2022. Oh yeah, and it was ETH Dubai, right? So, not very big kind of ETH events, but still, and I've forgotten. Probably, I even gave some talk at some side event associated with it. And back then, so if you are not doing a DeFi project on Ethereum, then you are basically ignored, and not just around Dubai, which is ETH centered. So that's quite natural, right? If you are ignored for being ETH. But yeah, well, in general, from my observations back in 2022, the town was completely about different DeFi projects on Ethereum, right? Well, in most cases, not really DeFi, but yeah, still. Okay, right. Now, many funds, as I said, invested into this ETH DeFi summer, going bankrupt, from what I've told. And there is now a big huge actually disorientation in the space in general, and then big players are trying to create trends out of anything they can grab, and these days it's meme coins. So there are some I don't know, foolish attempts to present meme coins as the next big thing, but yeah, I mean, it already was seen back in 2020 when it was about those yummy tokens, right? Like hundreds of them, like sushi, pancake, all that stuff. It also was a meme season, right? Before the real one.
Well, it's basically what it's anything that I think will make me money is the what is it going to be, the new trend, right? So it's like right now people are dumping money into memes. Oh wait, so yeah, that's the future. Like that's how most of these guys work. That's the future, right? Memes. That's the new narrative. People want memes. Like no, they just kind of want anything that moves, and stupid money's in there now. So
yeah, that's the future again. Like 4 years after, that's the future again.
Yeah, the future. Yeah, well, once more, it's the future. The past of the future. The past future is the future of the future now. So.
What's the most depressing to the industry is that there is no any big trend, right? And then, I think it's providing huge possibilities for Ergo, right, to position itself well. For the Ergo movement to position itself outside of all those cycle joke games, right? The so-called crypto industry is obsessed with, and well, to be oriented towards real world applications, right? Real world matters. So, well, to do cryptocurrencies and well, peer-to-peer and decentralized protocols for real.
Yeah.
All right. So those are my thoughts, and yeah, it seems well in this in environments of disorientation. So yeah, it's actually not now not so hard to grab attention. So yeah, I made a lot of personal meetings also in last days. So even on the day of departure, just like 3 hours before the flight, it was my last meeting, basically, like 3 or 4 hours before the flight.
Yeah. So it sounds like my stint in Argentina. We were having meetings all the way to the airport. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I mean, it feels like things are picking up again. There's still a bit of this, like people can feel that something is coming soon, but they're still confused about what it is and when it's coming. And so they just kind of like to throw stuff against the wall and see if it sticks and then run with it. It's like, look, it's sticking, kind of. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're gonna do. So there's still that, but just it's a symptom of where we are in the cycle. So I think as things progress, I mean, especially with Bitcoin doing what it's doing right now, I think quite a bit of I mean, look, quite a bit of profit taking is going to start to happen here soon, and so there's going to be money going into other projects, because that's basically what usually how the cycles go. And I think we're about to get there right now. So, like I said, people are feeling it. There's quite a bit of interest, but we're still where people are kind of still cautious about because they don't really know what it is because nobody wants to be the leader. Everybody wants to kind of follow already. Nobody wants to, carve the path. Everybody wants to just kind of follow in the, in the carved path. So, we'll see how it goes. So, Alex, how about we get to some questions? We got some questions from our ERG crew.
All right. So yeah. Also checking the question list.
Well, let's maybe start from the top. So good evening, Dan. How was trick or treating? It was fantastic because I trick or treated to myself and I gave myself all my candy. So it's all good. Okay, so let's go to this one. So
to Dubai and Argentina. I think it's answered right already.
Yeah, I already answered this, and that's why I'm skipping to the next one here. From Damev, great to see Rosen bridge expand to Ethereum and soon other chains. And he plans to increase liquidity on DEX, for example, Uniswap. Yep. Now, Alex, do you want to take this one? Do you know do you have any alpha on that?
Yeah, so it's already about 40K, so the first pool, and now some miners are in, so mining pool, Volipuli, for example, promoting it to miners, and I've pinged basically all mining pools I'm in touch with because of providing tech support to some, and let's see how it goes. But also there is Ergo hack project about doing somewhat funds, right, where you just put your ERG, I believe, right? And then, you are, getting LP tokens from this pool on Ethereum and getting appreciation from fees. APY is quite good. So, liquidity is flowing in, and for USDT pool, it's still small, so maybe the risk needs to well, try to attract some bigger players to it. So yeah, well, it's early to announce something or anything, but yeah, well, some efforts will be done once the first pool will be above, let's say, 50 or 100 key. And yeah, well, it's going quite well, I think. So no worse than Cardano did initially. Right. So well, at the moment, there is nothing to be worried about, and well, it's going on.
Excellent, excellent. So let's go to this next one from this guy named Lambert. I know Lambert, but I can't say that I am proud of that fact. He asks, can anyone tell me about the future of this rsERG coin? Well, that's a good question again for you, Alex. What do you think the future of rsERG is?
So that's basically about the future of the bridge, right? So rsERG is well, wrapped token used by bridges, and yeah. So I've met MHS also, right, as well as you in Dubai. So well, I asked some questions specifically about security, right, and. Yeah, it seems quite good, right? In regards with all the chains, yeah, all the wallets. Yeah, well, I personally, don't have worries, and then yeah, I mean, so in the best case, so rsERG will live as long as ERG. So yeah, well, hopefully for centuries to come.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the future looks bright for us, rsERG, because it is the kind of the the base layer for Rosen Bridge. Rosen Bridge is going to get more and more use. There's going to be more and more interesting stuff happening with it, different iterations. So I think our rsERG is going to be a good asset to have in your stable, and a good asset to use for utility. I'm really happy about that. Okay, so there's actually
maybe sorry, this question is about whether it can have independent use cases. So for example, there were many talks about listing rsERG instead of ERG. Because listing Ethereum, right, or Cardano token, for example, on LCX could be quite cheaper, or even for free, maybe in some case, right? So I don't know about LCX, but yeah, I mean, for many exchanges, listing ERC20 could be cheaper. But for Ethereum version specifically, we need for better liquidity first, right? And even then, there are some obstacles. But yeah, well, it could be more accessible indeed. And yeah, so for LCX, there is some poll they have organized just recently, so please check Ergo community group, and yeah, vote for Ergo to get rsERG on LCX centralized exchange, and so on. And yeah, for sure, it's also having some independent life on DeFi's, right, on Cardano and Ethereum. And decentralized exchanges are going quite well. So not just we are talking not about Ethereum just, but yeah, all the EVM chains Uniswap protocol deployed on. Then yeah, for 1 year, yeah, its volume grew significantly, and well, it will continue to grow because centralized exchanges becoming more and more painful, right? With well, geo restrictions, locks, KYC, all that stuff, and they are harder and harder to use, but not providing better security, right? So just I can recall that FTX exchange, right, which was considered as somewhat secure, right? Not number two after Binance, all that stuff, but yeah, well. It disappeared in like one day or two.
Yep. Yeah, it's very, it shows you the nature of this business, because you can have the largest chain out there thinking that they're invincible, just go poof in like a day or two. I mean, look at what happened to Luna. Look at what happened to FTX. That's we have to remember that. Now, none of these juggernauts are invincible that are out there. So we have to take that into account when we're building our own ecosystem and our own tech. So there's actually an interesting follow-up question to the Rosen bridge question. So both of you guys said the ETH bridge will be massive for Ergo. What did you mean by that? Well, exactly what it sounds like. It's massive for Ergo because you have access to a massive ecosystem through the bridge. So because we believe in Ergo tech, we believe that this tech is very, utility driven, very much needed, very unique in its sense, in many ways, just the combination of tech. It will be something, and it is already something that is gaining interest in the ETH community. And this is, again, you can see by the interest that's growing on the dexes. We're gonna have, I believe, we're gonna have more and more people from the ETH community looking at the tech and utilizing the tech, because it solves quite a few problems that they have in the in the EVM world that are just not fixable by what they have built so far. That's my take. What do you think about that, Alex?
Depth on rsERG to ETH pool is already better than order book depth on like half of centralized exchanges, right? Where Ergo is listed on in less than 2 weeks. That's achieved. That's quite impressive, right? Already. That already shows that it was quite big kind of listing, right? And the pool grew by 30% in last 24 hours, right? And it will continue to grow, and so on. So, and if you compare with other ERC to ETH pairs, it's already the best liquidity pair, right? So, but there are not so many pairs with ETH on Gate.io, I guess. Maybe only, but it's worse than Uniswap, and Gate.io is around for 4 years, right? So Ergo was listed around August 2020. It's already doing quite well in less than 2 weeks, right? It's quite impressive. So. Let's see how it goes, but yeah, I'm optimistic, I think that's just the beginning, right? So rsERG could be used not just on Uniswap, right, but around many products on Ethereum, and not just rsERG, but other Ergo tokens and so on. So far so good. And the bigger question maybe why there is no any pool I'm aware of for ADA, right? Do you know about any rsERG to ETH or rsERG to USDT pool?
Not that I know of, but it doesn't mean it doesn't. It's not there. I just haven't been following that part. I mean, I can see that that there's a need for that. So I would think that if others feel that way, it will come about. I mean, but like I said, I don't have any alpha on that.
All right, yeah. So I need to check actually.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, okay. I'll take one of these questions. Although we've been getting quite a bit of the same question. Every time I'm on an AMA. Does ZenGate bring anything to the table for Ergo? Is it mostly for Cardano? Once again, the Palmyra platform utilizes Winter Protocol for its Provenance solution, which is basically what we are tokenizing. We're tokenizing Provenance. Winter Protocol is on Ergo. There's literally all the blockchain tech what we have right now is on Ergo. Yes, we're developing tech on Cardano, and there's going to be tech on Cardano. The token is going to be on Cardano, but it's also going to be on Ergo through Rosen Bridge, and the core tech is on Ergo. So, yeah, it does bring a lot to the table. It brings transactions, and it brings utilization of the tooling in a commercial way. So that's what ZenGate brings to the table with Ergo, and also to Cardano. But for Ergo, yeah, I mean, the first chain that we built any kind of tech on was Ergo. We launched on Ergo. So last year we launched on Ergo. The first transaction was on Ergo. Yeah. So there you go.
All right. Let me answer the next one.
Okay.
But it's the question to you, but let me answer. Then
Okay.
did you made the deal with Maxi? Can we get refunded for Maxi raffle? I feel rocked. So it was made by PoW, right? Our awesome Ergonaut from Greece. And so yeah, the deal was made by him. I don't think you can get any refund for Maxi raffle because you have any kind of feeling personally, right? So to be honest, I haven't seen agreement with Maxi, which was signed by I don't know even by whom. Was it PoW? Maybe some EF member. But anyway, I don't think you can find in any kind of agreements, well, a clause on getting money back because you have some feeling, right? Personally, especially if it's about collective fundraising, right? And well, it's also hard to say how your feelings are corresponding to reality, right? Because well, the agreement was about listing on Maxi and it's done. Right, so the Ergo is listed on Maxi, and then well, it's hard to say what is your personal feeling about and why it should be a reason for.
QX has already answered this, so I'm just putting out QX's answers to this. So yeah, so Cole did it. So just ask him for a refund. No, it's listen. Look, listing fees for centralized exchanges are kind of a scam. I mean, most of the time it is kind of shitty. Unless you have really good accountability of what the money is spent on, which you usually never do. It's basically like, okay, this is what it's going to cost to list. Meaning what is going to cost for you to get access to our users and to give access to your community to trade on our platform. I mean, that's basically what it is. You're paying to play. Now, I'll tell you, where the community raffle was $53,000 for Maxi, something like that, that Maxi listed Ergo for. I'm currently negotiating with exchanges for listing Palm, and I mean, some of these offers I get from exchanges are, I mean, it's kind of like beyond preposterous. It's almost comical. I had like a tier 3 exchange come back to me and say, yeah, we'll list it for $250,000 in stables and $250,000 in Palm. This is not Binance. This is not like, this is not Coinbase. This is a tier 3-ish exchange that thinks that they can go and ask for these prices, and they're not the only ones. This is constantly happening. You got these exchanges out there asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and their books are padded, and their volume is fake, and it's a travesty. It's bullshit. It makes it all look like a clown show. This is why, yes, we are still, the Ergo Foundation still is, and myself are still, I'm putting in the efforts into getting Ergo listed on more exchanges, but really, in reality, it is innovations like Rosen that puts Ergo on into other ecosystems. Like what Joe says. I think he says something like about like hacking the back door or something. He's a lot more eloquent about it than I am, but it's essentially, that's what it is. You just put it out into those ecosystems. You get access to those ecosystems without having to pay somebody to get access to those ecosystems. And and then you put it on Uniswaps, and you put it on your Mint swaps, and all these dexes, all these the different platforms. And of course, it's not an instant type of success, right? It's not, nobody's going to swoop in and immediately and take you to multi-billion-dollar market capitalization. But you are creating more opportunity for yourself, and this opportunity, as you said, Alex, it's actually a lot more real than most of this bullshit that you see on centralized exchanges. A lot of these numbers are faked. That's why you're seeing more depth on Uniswap than you're seeing on other exchanges with Ergo, because that's real volume. That's real. A lot of this other stuff is embellished. So I think as a community and as an ecosystem, our time is better spent on promoting tech like Rosen Bridge and what it does, and really kind of being out there in other ecosystems and truly kind of propping them up and making them understand why they should be in ERG, versus trying to chase the next the big exchange listing. Which, look, most of these guys, I mean, just the fact of the matter is that unless you're in the middle of the bull market right now, even the Coinbase effect is gone, right? Even with Coinbase, you get listed on Coinbase, it doesn't mean that anything's going to pump. In fact, a lot of times it goes down because people have an easier way to sell, and bots have an easier way to screw around with the numbers. And exchanges, I'm not saying Coinbase does this, but other exchanges, the bigger exchanges, they will dump on you. You will list, and they will dump on you. So that's just the nature of the business.
Yeah, I mean that's why they're asking for tokens, right? And if you're talking about exchanges like Binance, so they're not listing proof of work cryptocurrencies these days because they're charging a significant share of tokens, right? And they're dumping those tokens on retail just after listing. So that's why Binance listings are not working towards price appreciation these days. They're working quite opposite. So they're just making people working at Binance richer, right? And so I also had a good talk with one OG Ergonaut and very OG guy. So we discussed those centralized exchanges, and he told me they are bringing traffic, and I well, did disagree on even that, because you know there was big and constant traffic increase when it was something like BTC exchange back in 2013-14, right? Because it was like okay, 3 4 pairs for Bitcoin, right? And then like 6 altcoins, and when 7th is added, you know, so well, it's visible, right? It's attracting traffic, and before the 8th edits in well, weeks or months after 7th, right? So this 7th is getting a lot. So that's how, well, many altcoins got a lot of traffic and appreciation back then, like Feathercoin, Novacoin, and so on. Right, but these days it's not working because, well, centralized exchange is listing 50 tokens per day, like cats in socks, or, well, wet fart, or whatever. So, yeah, you have like 50 tokens a day being listed, so there is no chance to find well, any cryptocurrency on centralized exchange now without using search box, right? Because there are thousands of tokens, so there is no traffic factor these days, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, even with the big ones, you know, you used to even be able to kind of bounce off of their socials, right? Some of these exchanges have, you know, huge socials of you know 500,000 to 1 million followers or whatever, and you think, holy crap, you know, they're gonna talk about us on their socials, is gonna bring a lot of traffic. And yeah, they make a tweet, and yeah, the tweet gets, you know, 500,000-600,000 likes or more. But then they make like 10 of those tweets a day, and each one of them gets 1,000 likes. And so even though you get a bunch of traffic, you know, an hour later, that's somebody else. Somebody else is getting the same kind of traffic, because yeah, like you said, Alex, they're listing so many coins and so many tokens, mostly tokens, not coins, because tokens are easier to list, that you can't really take advantage of any of this stuff. You know, it's not the same market anymore. You know, this is not, you know, 2016, 2017 anymore. You go out there, you list.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even 2020 anymore, right? So it's 2024. How's my internet connection? Good now, yeah. Yeah, 2024 is radically different, and you know, so back in 2020, even like 2 years ago, so I saw that yeah, well, there was good appreciation usually when you know, some cryptocurrency, well, revealed plans for next update and so on. And what I'm observing now, it's also not working, right? So I mean, well, centralized exchanges are not bringing attention, or you know, and well, the tech is now, well, is not understood per se. So the only I think in 2024 is to be radically different, right? And also to provide meaning. So why these cryptocurrency movements, or well, token movements, right? If we are talking about even dumbest memes, so the most successful of them are trying to do something, right? So like that's. Meme coin, which I forgotten its name, which is oriented about, well, kind of religious cult, well, invented by AI. Some crazy popular meme these days. So yeah, I mean, that's the only way to be successful, right? So to be radically different, because, well, The people are not, interested in centralized exchange listings of whatever. They're not interested in, Basilion TPS. They're not interested in another layer 2, which is not different from like hundreds of other and so on. So there is need for actual meaning, right? The real world.
Yeah, and this is
Right.
actually,
As you know, that's endless.
yeah. This sorry to interrupt you, Alex, but this is
sorry.
actually this is a good thing. I
That's
think
endless.
Yeah, go ahead. There's a bit of a delay, I think, because of the internet connection, but yeah, no. What I'm saying is that I think this is a good thing. You touched on a real good point here. This is a good thing because I remember, back in whatever 2015, even 2016, you would have projects literally moon after rebranding. That was one of these things that they would do. I remember when Ant Shares rebranded to Neo, they mooned. They went like parabolic back in like 2016, I think, something like that. And this was a thing for the 2017 bull market, 2016 bull market, whatever the bull market was. 2017, 2018 was the bull market. But anyway, going up to that bull market, that was the thing. Of course, listings. Yeah, back then listings were still a big thing. And rebranding and updates. Like you said, updates. Oh, we're doing an update, or we're doing rebranding, or we're doing a listing. And of course, partnerships, we're partnering with blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, they're finally going to get real utility. Oh my God, let's buy. And then the price just moves,
Yeah,
and then of course, none of it happens. Most of it just doesn't happen. It's like, oh my God, this coin was, even back in 2020 or something, when Elon Musk kept hinting that he was going to use Doge. I mean, Doge literally mooned because of Elon Musk tweets that in the end, he didn't really use it for anything. He just used it for memes, like literally. And I think that what we're getting to right now is, the industry and the public are getting kind of numb to this stuff. It doesn't make the price go up. So now we're going to get to a point where it's like, okay, so what else can you do with this thing? And this is where chains like Ergo will shine, because you can actually do a lot with Ergo. You can build a lot with Ergo. That is what the intrinsic value is of Ergo. Is that's where it comes from. Because what are you going to build with Doge? What are you going to build with cat and socks or wet fart? What are you going to build with them? Nothing. It's a fluke. It's a fugazi. To your point, I really think that this is actually, although people might, people who are just looking for, numbers go up might not like it. It is a good turn of events, because now we're going to see what actually matters eventually, what actually matters. And it is what you can do with the chain and with the crypto besides, making your bags moon.
Yeah. So that's the very interesting point we are in, I guess, in cryptocurrency history. So, well, it will be remembered, I guess, years after.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like all the previous years. I mean, every year was about something. Not rational usually, but yeah, about something.
Yeah, I think we can take one more question here, right, Alex? Maybe a couple more. We'll see. So this is an interesting question from Antonios. I'm sorry, I'm not going to butcher your last name, so I can do Antonios, but your last name I will destroy. So
Daskalakis, I guess.
Daskalakis. Okay, and I work with Greeks. I work with Greeks whose names it took me years to pronounce. So apologies for that in advance. Okay, and so the question is, Alex, Dan, good evening. Any interest in integrating with Cardano as a parachain and also with Bitcoin like ADA did? Well, so first of all, So and Alex, maybe you can also explain this a little bit better, because there's actually a another question here about about the Bitcoin OS bridge to Cardano, or Cardano to Bitcoin, and basically how it works. But I mean, just from my end, personally, I just don't see there being a specific reason to make Ergo a parachain of Cardano, because it literally already does a bunch of stuff that a parachain would through Rosen. So they already are parachains, and of course I understand that this is not exactly in the context of what a parachain would be, but to me, with the use of Rosen, it already does that. And so as soon as we have technology to actually be able to execute contracts across Rosen, aside from bringing funds across Rosen, I think that's just going to be like just a checkmate for it, and that's all we need. But what is your take on this, Alex?
Yeah, I actually need to check this partner chain framework still. So for Bitcoin OS, so I've checked well, white paper at least, but yeah, it seems to be not very concrete. So well, for sure you can do the same for Ergo, right? Well, you can do this Bitcoin S on Ergo. Well, what I'm not sure is, well, concrete efficiency on Bitcoin side. So if that's enough. So yeah, let's see. So need to check maybe code even at some point. And yeah, about partner chains, yeah, need to check well capabilities of that framework. But yeah, I mean, if it's about well, some cross-chain messaging, then Rosen is going to do that as well. So if there are some additional capabilities, then yeah, I need to check.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. So where's QX? We miss her so much. Can you wink if you love her? Don't take that. Don't take anything out of this, QX. Okay. You and I still have, that thing. So anyway.
The shield. All right. Yeah. And then yeah. Right. So one more question maybe.
Yeah. So there's.
I can answer this part about this Wombo 2022. So about.
Yeah. So blockchain tech is pretty much stabilized. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. So back in 2014, for example, when the initial snarks paper appeared. So it wasn't about blockchain soon, right? But the whole blockchain R&D community, let's say, so it was small, and yeah, mostly Bitcoin, like 70% Bitcoin, and then yeah, altcoins. So yeah, it was quite understandable that it's going to be revolutionary, right, for blockchains. Not clear how, but yeah, there was such understanding. And then yeah, we got Zcash white paper, right, maybe in like 2 years, and then yeah, that's guy from Bitcoin, Greg Maxwell, yeah, demo presented at Financial Cryptography 15 or 16. So yeah, well, very very quick, right, adoption, and yeah, it was clear even before that. So just from observing the paper, that then it's going to be breakthrough. So these days, so if we are talking about optimistic somewhat versus zero knowledge somewhat, also considering progress in zero knowledge somewhat, then Yeah, well, the progress is actually very gradual, right? And well, even if it's ZK somewhat is better than optimistic, then yeah, still optimistic is better in regards with other properties and so on. Right, so that's why I'm saying that yeah, the tech is pretty much stabilized from what I'm observing, right? And I'm still trying to observe as much as possible, but yeah, it's hard to catch up with all the papers. But yeah, you also well understand now what's going on from just reading the titles in most cases. And yeah. Well, that means that yeah, well, the pace of progress is now quite clear, right, and even more quite predictable. So the space, you know, well, in regards with cryptography being used and other aspects, is yeah, well, quite stable overall, right, and. Yeah, but based on that, so we can consider the tooling we already have at this point, right? And well, we can consider how to go to real world adoption, right? Well, considering all those factors like as stable and predictable pace of progress, right? In this blockchain tech overall.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it off for this week. We're at the top of the hour, or the top of our hour.
Yeah, and some announcements, pre-announcements.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay, let's do it.
yeah, so as I said, we are going to have community Zoom call, and well, the agreements we reached our the Telegram group was not to have it instead of AMA. But to yeah, have dedicated slot for that. So let's see, maybe next Tuesday or Friday, something like that. So will be announced shortly. So it will be community Zoom call. So we are trying different formats, right? Like AMAs, Twitter Spaces, and now also Zoom calls to find what's working and how exactly all those things are working for our community. All right, and yeah, you are also free to well propose and to launch own initiatives. For sure, it's very much welcome. And yeah, well, for Zoom call, there will be announcement, and let's see how it goes. That's it. And thank you for joining us. It was well quite interesting MA in quite interesting times, I hope.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Good AMA, good questions. Except for QX. All right, everybody. Well, yeah, I guess that's all the time we have for this week. And until next week, I will try my best to be here. I think I will be. I'm staying put for several weeks now. So
Yeah.
until then, this is Dan coming to you barely alive but kicking from Japan, signing off.
Right. Have a good day, everyone.